Diary of a Kitchen Lover, fondly known as Chef T, is an award-winning certified Nigerian cuisine chef, cooking show producer, food blogger, product developer, and food entrepreneur whose influence continues to redefine African food culture with an unmatched passion for food storytelling and kitchen aesthetics. Chef T is steadily building a powerful army of food lovers and kitchen enthusiasts across our platforms, reaching over 6 million people globally through content, community, and hands-on learning. With 8 years of industry experience, Chef T has firmly cemented a place in the culinary and food content space. Her journey is marked by standout achievements, from emerging winner of Sterling Bank's Jollof Master competition to earning a professional cuisine chef certification from the Italian Chef Academy and establishing the creative powerhouse Diary of a Kitchen Lover Studios. She is also the creator, producer, and host of Delicious or Disaster, Africa's most daring, brutally honest, and most-watched cooking show, setting a new standard for food entertainment on the continent. Expanding her brand beyond content, Chef T recently launched her first physical product, the Besties Sponge, a kitchen essential designed with functionality and style in mind. At her core, Chef T finds deep joy in sharing accessible recipes and presenting African cuisine in the most beautiful, elevated, and globally appealing way, bridging tradition with modern creativity. As a trusted food influencer and brand partner, Chef T has collaborated with over 200 prestigious brands and currently serves as a brand ambassador for industry leaders such as Coca Oats, Seaway Water, Cousins Baby, Knorr, Money Fresh, and many more. Known for her integrity, creativity, and relentless hunger for excellence, she consistently delivers exceptional visibility, authentic engagement, and proven results, giving brands a 100% return on impact. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Omotolani Tayo Oshikoya, Chef T, to the 13th Inspiring Change Conference. As an exemplary business trailblazer in Nigeria and the rest of the world, Ijaola Mojisola Helen is one out of the few Nigerian women that have been able to succeed in their careers by adding exceptional value to their society. She has proven to be outstanding, paving a way from a humble beginning and against the impediments the society may pose. Born over 3.5 decades ago, Mrs. Ijaola Mojisola Helen is a Nigerian businesswoman, accountant, motivational speaker, philanthropist involved in the fashion and corporate finance industries in Nigeria. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Helen Mo Merchants. She has expansive knowledge on corporate tax and financial accounting spanning over a decade. Though with a first degree in estate management, her insatiable quest for knowledge in corporate tax and financial accounting made her seek certification from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, wherein she was licensed as an Associate Chartered Accountant (ACA) in 2013. Helen started her career in 2011 as a tax audit staff at Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, during which time she was tasked to review tax returns of companies and reports, and this was evident in the state's internally generated revenue (IGR). And this makes the Center of Excellence less dependent on monthly handouts from federal allocation. Driven by her infectious enthusiasm for delivering quality fashion wares and accessories, she left the agency to run Helen Mo Merchants, a business founded by her to pursue a lifelong dream in fashion business. Just as she has assiduously used her experiences and knowledge to elevate the business from a third-tier entity to a prime fashion house in Nigeria with specialization in sales of shoes and bags with fashion accessories. Over the years, she has become a force to reckon with and piloted the fashion industry with a desire to take the business to another level with a mission to pass it on to others. Beyond accolades, she is humble by the lives she touched and has delivered seasoned speeches at several forums, majority of which are aimed at repositioning and counseling the mindsets of young entrepreneurs using her impeccable business savvy as a footing. She sees giving back as not only the path to a legacy, but the key to opening doors and creating opportunities for others. Helen enjoys reading, dancing and traveling. She is happily married with children. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Ijaola Mojisola Helen to the 13th Inspiring Change Conference.
Oh, thank you. It's just like I should pass the mic to the Queen. To the Queen of Talk Show, so that she can do justice to this. Please celebrate the Queen of Talk Show. Thank you so much. This is the Girl Talk session. And you know something about the Girl Talk session is that you're going to scream. You're not going to be able to sit still. You feel cry, oh, so just get ready because you're about to be fired up with a loud shout. Welcome, Chef T. The besties in the gallery, make some noise. Besties outside, make some noise. Oh my God. Also with a loud shout, help me welcome the MD of Ellen Mo Merchant, popularly called Bags Warehouse. Thank you so much. Without any doubt, you already know that great people have their own unique story. And I would want to go straight to Chef T. What is your refire story? Because I've seen one of your posts where you pulled up, I think it was Future Awards. You had just received Future Awards for Diary of...
It was Trend Up Awards.
It was, yeah.
Up, yeah.
And then you recounted how you didn't start this way. I don't want to tell your story. Please tell us.
Okay, my story is long, but I would try to put it together in a very brief way. And I'm really happy that one of my colleagues is here. Rakzadara, one of my former colleagues when I used to work at the airport, MMA2, I did her makeup, her wedding makeup.
Wow.
When I was a makeup artist.
Wow.
Yes, I was a bridal makeup artist. So my story started from, a young girl, studied accounting, almost chattered until I got discouraged. I was like, this is not what I want to do in my life. Then I spoke to my dad after school. I was like, Daddy, I don't think I want to continue with accounting, Thank God for very, very supportive parents. That's why I always say that, for parents, if you notice your child possess any form of skill, please, by all means, support them. So, yeah, I got my support from my parents. I stopped, studying for chartered accounting. Sorry, I know you're chartered. I almost got there, but why did they change the syllabus? The thing scattered my head. Anyways, so I knew that was the end of the road for there. And then I started to learn makeup from YouTube. While I was learning makeup, I was doing 9-to-5 job. And while I was in school in Babcock University, I used to sell hairs. So I found a business there. I started to do makeup, and then I started to sell hair. I started to do a lot of things. And then while I was in NYSC, my daddy sent me to a fashion school. So I also learned fashion designing. I know fashion designing too, thanks to my parents. So in the midst of everything, I knew that the business side was where I want to go to. I wasn't a 9-to-5 person. I was always frustrated at work, And along the line, I got married. And while I got married, I was still doing hair business. I was still a makeup artist. And then I got married. I loved to cook. While I was living alone, I would cook the whole house down, and I'll bring my friends to eat. I would set the table, Asian food, Nigerian food, and they would just be like, what's wrong? What's going on? What are you celebrating? I just love to feed people. Then when I got married, early years in marriage, I would cook for my husband, pack his lunchbox. I post it on my personal page, my Insta stories. And then I noticed that people were always asking me for recipes. I was like, give me a recipe. I don't know what that is, you know. So one of my pregnant friends kept on asking for recipes all the time, and then I got frustrated. And then while I was in the office, when I finished, I moved into the digital space. I have a digital background for 6 to 7 years. I was a digital marketer. I was a brand manager for a couple of, accounts, banks, many banks, I did digital advertising, I did branding, and I think that's what kind of worked for me in my journey as Diary of a Kitchen Lover. I did that for about 7 years, and while I was still doing that was when Diary of a Kitchen Lover started. When I would cook and people would ask me, I just picked my phone one day and called my husband. I'm like, people are always asking me for recipes. Maybe I should just create an Instagram page and just be posting it there. So whenever they ask me, I'll just say, go and check there. You understand? And then my husband was like, okay, what do you now call it now? I love to keep, journal. I love to keep diaries. I was like, and I love kitchen. I love everything kitchen. I love kitchen aesthetics. I just love the whole 9 yards of cooking and everything. I was like, okay, Diary of a Kitchen Lover will make sense. And right there and there on my office desk, I created the page. And within 1 month, I got 5,000 followers. Wow. And I started getting people saying, you inspire me, inspire you, Bawo. I was just joking with it. But it was from a place of passion. And that passion, led me for a whole 1 year when I started to use my salary to fuel the passion. I would use my salary to buy ingredients. I would use my salary to buy everything I needed, gadgets. I didn't have many that time. My light source was a rechargeable lamp my husband had gotten from, Christmas hamper. I would use rubber band to tie it on my phone and place it on our microwave in our kitchen then. And I would film for a whole year with my, salary. Sometimes I get back from work as late as 7 p.m. I drop my bag at the entrance and I film till like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And that was my life for a whole 1 year until I got an email. I got an email asking for my rate card. What is the rate card? And then they offered me 20,000 naira. It was Jumia Foods then. And then I told my husband, babe, so we can actually make money from this thing. It felt like I hit a jackpot, And I was like, yes, I'll do it. 20,000 naira. Yes, I'll do it. And that was in 2019.
Wow.
And then they paid. And they paid. The first, I made money from food blogging. Wow. I bought more ingredients, I shot more, and then that was how it started.
Oh my God.
And, because of the passion I started with, there was no way I was going to back down. And then the little 1 or 2 people that would slide into my DM, I prepared this, you are saving my marriage. How?
Wow.
And since then, it's been 8 years. I celebrated 8 years on the 1st of March. It's been 8 years, and I cannot count the number of women, number of marriages I have saved just because of recipes.
Please help me celebrate Chef T. One thing that is worthy of note is there is something you already love doing. There is something that everybody, anytime they see you, they just associate you with that thing. It comes to you naturally, so you don't even see the place of purpose or the place of business or the place of a job in that thing. I want you to look within you. There is something you're very competent at, that whether you are paid for it or not, it is what you love doing. Maybe God must just be pointing you in that direction to do something with it. It may not, your own may not to set up a company or something. It may just be for you to train people to know how to do what you already have going well for you. You don't know how many marriages you will save just by showing them how to do these things. You don't know how many homes you would liberate, and you don't know how much money and connections that you can make from it. Please help me celebrate Chef T for sharing that. I would like to go to the queen of talk shows, Dr. Morayo. What's your refire story? Because people may never know all that you have to go through because you show up in front of the camera, well made up, looking nice, but we know there's a behind the scenes story. Please tell us your refire story.
Thank you so much, Pastor Sunmbo. Thank you for having me. You know, when you told me you wanted me to talk, I'm not sure where to start. My story is long, just like it's too long. I started thinking, where do I start from? Is it from university? Is it from when I come? I don't even know where to start because I have been refiring all my life.
Wow.
Because, I mean, from childhood, I came 12 years after my brother, so I was like the child nobody really wanted. I was like that stone that was rejected. You know, don't worry, like, I go to loan you after 12 years. Are you okay? You know, and my father denied me for a few years. I think he started talking to me after 3 years. When I was 3 years old, my mother told me, because he was a polygamist, he had several wives, so he didn't really pay attention to me at all. Like, why are you getting pregnant 12 years after? Anyways, growing up, I had very low self-esteem. Fast forward, many of you, some of you who follow me will know my story of my accident in the US. I was in a car accident in the US that I lost my whole right thigh. I crushed 6 inches of my right thigh. I had a skull fracture. I was in coma for 5 days. My mother, they were not sure I was going to make it. But when I came out of that coma and I had to go through like eight whole months of therapy, I was on a wheelchair for 4 months, boots, crutches. Before I started walking again, in fact, I never knew I was going to walk again. The doctor was debating, should we cut the leg or not cut the leg? Eventually decided to leave the leg. But my mother was so scared that, would this girl even get married? Because I gained a lot of weight. I was on a wheelchair. You can't stand up. So I was very fat. And I was in university. That's where you're dating, you're hanging out with your friends. Your friends are going to club, and you are there rolling wheelchair. You know, you felt really depressed. I just felt like nobody wanted me. And it was a really hard time. Eventually, fast forward, I moved back to Nigeria, and it was just hard. You know when you leave Nigeria as a middle class, and when you come back and your parents have gone to lower middle class, because the society you grew up in, everybody has passed, and you're thinking, where do we even start from? The small money you're making, that's what your parents are saying, or for money from tithe or be offering that we do house fellowship, we'll just borrow small money, we'll return it on Monday. You know, those little things were really hard, you know. And when I got my job at ITV then, it was just God's grace. I can't even go into that story, it's too long. I'm going to fast forward to how I got Your View started. I didn't plan Your View like that. I didn't want to even be a host. I didn't understand. Because I was stuttering. I stammer. I can't talk. The idea was to bring people to host the show. And that was the concept. I hired Joy Isabel. She's a big writer now. She was my host. And me, I was just there as one of the co-hosts, just to be, you know, just to ginger them. But she was the host. 3 months later, I said, Morayo, I have to go and write. I want to go and pursue my writing. That was on a Friday. The show is live Monday. My producer said, what are we going to do? He said, Morayo, I'm going to throw you in the deep end. Well, my host, skinny. I said, I can't host. I stammer. He said, you host. That's how I started hosting the show. I created the show, and I started 3 months after. And then the show was doing well. A few years later, TVC sacked me. I got a sack letter. Drama, I won't even go into that. I was frustrated. Then everybody started running out that skater. I want to sack. I got my sack letter from the Olga, from the Kota. I had to go and fight for my job. I said, I have done this. I have created this channel. I have turned this around. I had to defend it. Eventually, 5 days later, they rehired me. But this time, demoted. Because I was director, but the person who wanted my job, who was very close, said, listen, I already told the guy I want your job. So when he calls you, just say you take the assistant one. Foolish me that I wanted the job. And Kuku said, no problem, I'll take it. So I came down. But you know, that frustration followed me even on the job. But I was still doing my show, as you said. Nobody knows your story. 2019, I resigned because I wanted to go and find something out there. And I left TVC, but I was still doing my show as a contract staff. And then while doing that, there's still something I wanted to, you know when you feel that there's still something inside you want to birth out. So when I got the job as MD in 2023, I thought, oh, Father, breakthrough, finally. But even as MD, I still didn't feel like I was there. I wasn't getting that thing. You know when you are pregnant and you know God wants to birth something. And I knew I had to birth it, but I wasn't sure exactly what. It was until last year when I wrote a concept of a TV show in my head. I approached somebody. The person gave me 100 million naira for my company. Now, and I went home I said, Morayo, on behalf of a company, over 100 million. If you did it for yourself, Uncle, are you okay? Are you a child? I have to tell myself, Morayo, retrace your steps. So, on behalf of your company, a brand can give you, no. It's time to resign. You need to go and fight this thing for yourself. And that's when I took the bull by the horn and decided to refire.
Hey!
And I said I was going to go. I wasn't sure about the Morayo show. And the Morayo show was inside, but I just didn't even know exactly. Till today, every day is a new day. We keep having production. What do we do tomorrow? How is it going to get better? And every day is getting better. So refiring, God has already deposited it in you.
Yes.
But He now bring factors that help you to push it out. But you must pay attention. One of the ladies that came earlier said she was serving. I was serving.
Yeah.
It's when you are young, it's time to sow.
Yes.
People, Morayo, Afolabi, I sowed in the house of God. Where is she? She's in the house. I sowed. And some of those, you begin to see the fruits of that seed. I did it. And today, God is always with me. Thank you very much.
God. Celebrate Dr. Morayo. Somebody say audacity. See, if you're going to take the bull by the horn, you need audacity. Because the bull is not just going to wait there for you to come and hold it by the horn. How do you start a talk show as a stammerer? How? Many of you are still looking at what you're not good at, what you cannot do, what you can. Some of the strength that you carry on the inside will only come out when you face things. And I say things, I mean difficult things. What's that difficult step you have refused to take? You might just be shutting down the potential of that big dream. You might just be shutting down the potential of that big vision that God is going to use to make you. Somebody say audacity. Say, I will take the bull by the horn. Audacity. Because not to now talk of getting 100 million for a show that has not started. We'll come back to that. I want to talk, I call her Ellen Mo. I want to ask you, what's your refire story in business? Because I know that you started selling, I know the way you started selling bags from the boot of your car. Today you have the biggest warehouse for the sale of bags in the whole of Lagos. What is your, I take up audacity. Please go ahead.
So I'm sure you all are familiar with my story. So let me just start from there. Most benefit of people who are not familiar with Bags Warehouse. So I had Bags Warehouse, and I did not plan out to be a business person. You know, while they were reading my history, I'm an academic person. I always wanted to finish school, work in a corporate organization, sit behind my desk, press my computer, sit, like a corporate person, really. That was my dream, you know. But as life would have it, in fact, during school, I was an undergraduate, I started ICANN, like that. So because I wanted the best out of life. But there's always something about me, and I always wanted to live a good life, regardless of whoever I married, you know. So along the line, when I finished school, I served, then I got a job, a banking job. Unfortunately, by the time they were going to detain me, I was posted to. Due respect to the people of Offa, I was posted to Offa. And because me, a growing up single young lady that is really looking ahead of, you know, I have a lot of, hope for my life. This is not the place for me. Because, you know, so I resigned. The day I was supposed to go resume, I resigned and I came to Lagos. In fact, on getting to Lagos, because then I began to stay with my elder sister. She felt I was mad. Like, you know how it is, even banking job on its own, you know how it is back then. Like, people see you up there, but I'm not seeing myself. Okay, probably I saw myself there, but nothing of her, you know? So I came back to Lagos. My sister dragged me by my pants. Because at that time, I began, in fact, she literally turned me into a housemaid. Because she happened to be a businesswoman. She was into kitchen utensils and stuff like that, you know? And that was how I began to go to the shop with her. We'd go to a co and buy stock. Would organize the store, attend to customers. You know, I learned a lot from her during that period, you know. And at that time, I was still looking for a good job. So to cut a long story short, I eventually got a job. That's another story for another day. So, but the take home was not taking me anywhere. So it was at that time, was barely 50,000. In fact, this time my certificate really. But, you know, I just took the job, and while at the job, I was like, okay, what else could I do? What else could I do? Then looking at my environment at that time, it was, we just got an autonomy from the Ministry of Finance, and they recruited a lot of new young graduates, ladies, single ladies. So when I sat back, I was like, okay, this is the market. What can I sell to these people? So I tested this, I failed at that, I sold children things at some point, I sold office clothes. Eventually I landed on bags. That's why we're still bags warehouse till today. Despite the fact that we even sell shoes and bags because we branched into a lot of other things along the line. But then, First Lady, this refiner, there's a lot of stories to tell really, but that was what brought me into bags. We're selling bags, and trust me, till tomorrow I'm grateful for it.
Honestly, please help me celebrate Ellen Moore. Celebrate her. Ellen Moore, you started selling bags from the trunk of your car, and then you moved it to social media. And I know that selling on Instagram was big deal for you then. Then Instagram shut down your accounts.
Yes.
At how many followings?
That was 243K followers.
243,000 following, and they shut it down. What was that experience like for you to start again from 0, 0, 0?
There's something I need to point out. You see, life would, how do I say this? There will always be challenges. Okay, let me start from here, First Lady. You see, this topic requires to advance. It's a very timely topic, really. Because we, growing up, we've been wired to believe that you cannot succeed without hard work. But sometimes it is not hard work that you need. What you need is clarity. You see, yes. Because at some point, when I was, starting this bags warehouse, okay, something happened in my business about 2 years ago. Why I said that? About 2 years ago, bags warehouse has really expanded, and I felt, okay, let me have another branch. And I decided to, okay, I sat down with my data because I'm a chartered accountant. Trust me, when it comes to data, I keep data a lot, and I don't make any decision out of data. So when I felt, I checked my data, and everything was pointing to Abuja. I should go open a branch in Abuja. So, and we decided, in fact, that year, because something about business also is speed. If you want to do well, speed. So within that year, we put things together and we moved to Abuja for a new branch. So while at this, we pay a rent of 2 years because the intention was to move in big. Because the house, it's already big, and everywhere we want to, site a branch, we want to come in big. But something just told me, why not start small, test the waters, see what they like before, coming out that big. So that was how we started small. So, but towards the end of our first 2 years in Abuja, something happened. My rent was increased. So at the time, my rent was increased from 12 million to 60 million. So, in fact, the 12 million in the first place was, I was still, being a new place, I was very hopeful. We have the name, we have the product and stuff, But when it was now increased to, but I wasn't even, what I was planning to do was just, okay, let me move to another location, lower rent and stuff. Then I pulled back. So, in fact, I was still in Abuja till December last year, trying to get a new location. So, in January, I couldn't get one, so I came back to Lagos. So, in January, I was away on vacation. Now, I'm going back to why I said sometimes it is not hard work you need. You need clarity. So, in January, I was away on holiday. So, now, it was a new year. I was going to, what happened the previous year, let me review, reflect, and all that. Then this year, where are we going to start? How are we going to do it? So in the course of, I pulled out my Abuja data. I wasn't going to leave Abuja in the first place till 31st of December. But during that holiday, I pulled down my data and I was checking. I checked my sales, I checked my current expenses and stuff. And I realized that without my rent being increased, even at the current rent, I was actually not doing well. I moved to Abuja because of expansion, because the intention was growth. I now realize that even if I continue, in Abuja, as it were, in 6 months, I will start to use Lagos Fund to support Abuja branch. So immediately I decided I was going to shut down the store and move back to Lagos. And I didn't only make that decision, I also made another decision. The reason we're not really making a lot of sales in Abuja was because people already know that we have a bigger store in Lagos. And so most times when they visit the store, they don't see as much variety as they see in Lagos. So I now decided, okay, why not put all of this, I built a website and put all of these items on the website, So I started that, I came back first week in January and we started building the website. So we launched the website on February 14th. This is where I'm going. So, from February 14th to till first week in March, so I looked at the sales that I made by shipping items to Abuja. What was my sales within those period? I compared it with what I was selling while I had a store in Abuja. I'd made more than 19.5% increase in my sales. Trust me, at zero cost.
Wow.
At zero cost. So while I was even physically present in Abuja, I had a store, I had to take accommodation for staff, I had to pay salaries, rent, and all that. I wasn't doing as much as I was doing. So where I'm going in essence is sometimes hard work. Yes, it pays. Yes, that is the way out. But trust me, sometimes you work so hard at the wrong things. While you could pull back and, think, pause, re-strategize, really, so that you can move forward.
Please help me give her a round of applause. One thing she said that I resonate deeply with is that stop working hard in the wrong places. My pastor will say if you are taking step in the right direction, even if you are catwalking, you will get there. But if you are walking in the wrong direction, it is effort that is not leading anywhere. Somebody shout clarity. Right. If you are going to refire this year, please refire with clarity. Chef T.
I haven't talked about my page being taken.
We are coming back. We are coming back to that page because I know someone in here can relate to that. I want to ask Chef T. I heard when you said you discussed with your husband about, naming Diary of a Kitchen Lover, and he was asking you and all of that. I have also heard you talk about how you picked his brain on this delicious or disaster. Please, we're not talking about spousal support alone. I just want to I want you to share how you started that, the dream behind Delicious or Disaster, and how it grew your YouTube page.
Thank you. That was what I was actually looking forward to speaking about in this gathering today, because I know the story will inspire somebody out here today. When I think about Delicious or Disaster, it's my passion project. And once I mention passion project, if you understand the logic of passion, you would know how deep it is. That no matter what, nothing will make me give up. Yeah. You understand? Delicious or Disaster, I get a lot of ideas in the bathroom. Like I have an idea that I'm supposed to execute this year. I got it in the bathroom. I told my husband immediately, we got a writer, we got everything, and we are pushing off forward. Wow. My husband is this guy that, when they say it's a pillar, you don't see him online. He doesn't have any business with anybody online. But he heads my management team. Wow. He runs things. Wow. The moment I tell, because he knows his wife is very brilliant. His wife is when my husband is, men are very logical. When they are thinking, okay, don't worry, we execute it this way. Me, I'm already calling people. I'm already executing it. And before you know it, it is already done. You understand? So he has seen that trait in me for, married now 9 years. Wow. He has seen it on me, and he's like, okay, this thing actually works for this girl. So no matter the idea I push to him, he's always there. Even though he has his own job, he finds time to,
Please celebrate the men that support their wives. Oga, if you are connected online and you are listening, you've not been supporting your wife.
He finds time
you
to
better support.
Yeah, thank you. He finds time to pour into me. So Delicious or Disaster came as an idea. Diary of a Kitchen Lover has been a growing brand for many years. And when you get to a point, I think it was Morayo that mentioned it, you'll be pregnant for something. And then you get to a point when you're like, okay, Diary of a Kitchen Lover is popular on social media. And I'm going to use Delicious or Disaster and my other products, my physical products, and at a point I'm like, okay, I want this to, expand. I want it to be more than just Diary of a Kitchen Lover. I want a situation whereby, yes, I've been offering value. I still want people to see the value and, be a part of the value. I looked around and I saw that there was no cooking show in Nigeria that rewarded people per episode. There was no cooking show in Nigeria that spotlighted African ingredients, Nigerian ingredients, and that was how Delicious or Disaster started. I remember that day. I was at a photo shoot event at an award. We were taking photo shoots, and one of my friends, I've had an idea to start something big on my YouTube channel, but one of my friends came up to me and is like, Chef T, I need you to do enough, even though I knew I wanted to do, but that push, Nurse Mirage, shout out to you. That push was what I needed. She pushed me and my friend, Afolabi Banks. She's like, you need to start something. I had that idea, and by the time I was driving home, I was just crying in the car. I parked at Maryland bus stop and I called my husband. Babe, something must come out of me today. I don't know how I want to do it. He said, where are you? I said, I'm parked in Maryland. He's like, where is Baba? My driver had dropped off. He was gone. He's like, oh, yeah, just come home. And then I went home that day. I sat down on the bed, and I'm like, I've always wanted to do a cooking show. I don't know what it is, but I want a cooking show that will shake Nigeria. I want a cooking show that will be the most talked about cooking show, no matter what. And then I was like, Delicious. Delicious is a name. When we talk about Delicious, it's a meaning of a whole 9 yards of stuff. And then my husband was like, that's a very good name. But I was on the bed, he was on the chair. I was like, I needed something opposite of Delicious that will give me a direction for this cooking show. And immediately God gave me Disaster. The moment I got Disaster, I must have danced for 10 minutes straight because I knew I had gotten it. Immediately, I called up my friend, Mama Ijaola Afolabi Banks. He gave me a producer, gave me a production team, gave me everything I needed, gave me the plug for everything. And immediately, and one thing about having an idea is you need to execute. If you have the clarity and you know that this is what you want to do and you have a conviction within you, get to work immediately. Speed. I remember then, I called the producer, I called everybody, and they bought into the idea. And in less than 3 weeks, I called for entry, I'd gotten contestants, and we were shooting in 1 month.
In less than 3 weeks.
We were shooting in 1 month. And then by the time I finished shooting, I was like, Tolani, what did you just do? you just produced a cooking show. Remember, it's a passion project. I didn't have sponsors. It was just me, small girl. Like, what do I know? Small yansh, they shake. Sorry, I'm in church. I'm just like small girl. So I did it however I knew. I approached the apartment, and they gave me their space, very small space. I approached my judges. God bless every influencer that helped me. I knew I needed influencers to push the show. I didn't care about chefs. You understand? Because if I had used chefs, nobody would know about the show. Yes. So I approached all my influencer friends, Vicky James, Okoyemi Famaki. I approached all of them, and they all bought into the ideas. Wow. And then we went ahead to shoot in this small space. And apart from the fact that I wanted to shoot a show, I wanted to empower people. I wanted to inspire lives. A lot of young chefs look up to me. How am I going to give back in a way where I also boost their confidence? And every single contestant that has come on this show, I see them on social media there today. A lot of them have been selected for MasterChef Nigeria. I see them on social media today, and I'm like, they came out of Delicious or Disaster. Yes, and by the time we launched it, Chef T has a standard, and people already know that she's quality, she's this and everything. And then they saw the spaces that I used. They saw the judges, and they're like, why are the judges so cramped up? What's this? Why this? They didn't understand that this little girl started with what she had. You understand? So, but you need to start so you can learn from what you have done. You understand? If you start, you are able to learn from what you have done. Even we that shot the show, we knew what we needed to improve on because we knew that we needed to move to a bigger space immediately. And because I wanted to correct that, we shot season 2 immediately.
Wow.
We shot season 2 before we finished airing season 1.
Wow.
Season 2 was much better. A bigger space. There was room and parlor for the judges.
Yeah.
You know, even though it wasn't a proper studio, it wasn't what I wanted. I got a sponsor, Dano Milk.
Wow.
I got a sponsor. If you don't start, you will never know. You will never grow.
You will never know.
I got a sponsor. I got a lot of backlash online too. But I knew where I was headed. And guess what? We are starting to shoot season 3 in April. So many sponsors on the line. And a bigger space. We're using next thoughts. We're using a bigger studio.
Hey.
And I know that by the time I'm done with season 5, season 6, I will build my own studio. Just like Morayo.
Amen. Wow. Please help me celebrate Chef T.
But I just want to say one more thing.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
please.
You will get a lot of backlash. You will get a lot of, you would think you are failing. You might even fail, but remember that failure is just a data. It's a way to grow. I did something I've never done before in my life. You know, I've tried to build a positive community for the past 8 years. You never find Chef T fighting online. You will never find Chef T insulting people. But people triggered me with my show. They did a lot. They spoke down on my personality. There was one day I was having a really bad day. You know, my husband had traveled. I just finished, taking care of my very, very, very active daughter. I just dropped her in school. I got to work. I was having a really bad day, and then I opened my Instagram and I saw a lady bring down my person. I am condescending. I am this, and I cried. And while crying, I made a video. I told them, please don't watch my show. If you feel like, my show doesn't impress you, don't watch it. That was a huge mistake I made in my life. I posted that video, and that video went viral. Ooh. They tried. In fact, at a point, it was a paid sabotage. They tried to bring me down. In fact, for 3 whole weeks, my name was everywhere on social media. But you know one thing I did not do? I did not back down. I understand. I acknowledge that it was a mistake I made because people did not expect. Chef T doesn't talk about. She doesn't reply anybody online. Yes. But that one mistake. So you might be in the heat of things. You might want to reply in the heat of things and say things that you're not supposed to say. Please focus on the goal. Focus on the goal. I know that one day, Delicious or Disaster will be a global brand. And I know that one day, this passion project of mine that started in my bedroom will be a show where people say, I have been inspired. In fact, people are already saying it. In the next season now, we are having episodes for moms above 50. We're having episodes for dads above 50. We're having episodes for teenagers. That's because we've gotten a lot of data. And people now love the show. Children love the show.
Yes.
And I know I'm doing something good.
You
and
are.
I'm never going to stop. So please, if you have the conviction within you, no. People will only talk, but guess what? Success has many friends, though. The moment they start to mention your name in those places. I started watching the show now. I know the show, but big shout out to the genuine supporters of the show. Wow. It's been really, really inspiring seeing that, small girl like me is inspiring a lot of people. But please don't stop. So long as you have that conviction, failure is just a data. It will get better with time.
Wow. Everyone, please help me say, Chef T, you are inspiring. Thank you so much. I picked a few things from what you said, and that's the value of people. There is no self-made anybody out there. When you see someone with a dream and a vision and everything just becomes big, it's not an overnight success. Go and check. They have backing. There are people, probably people that have the strategy, or people that have the money, or people that have the right network of influence or connection. And that takes me to the next question I'm going to be asking Dr. Morayo. Dr. Morayo, I was at your studio. Fantastic. Hey, honestly, you need to visit our studio. I was
still telling her while she said that. She's the topic of discussion among my friends and I almost every day. We still spoke about her yesterday. Like every time I see her Instagram post, I'm like, who is this woman? Please let people inspire you. No matter the age, whether younger or older, please let people inspire you. You don't know where that inspiration will take you to. Don't say, that woman, I know where she started now, or that small girl. No, nobody is small when they are succeeding. Pick from them. You inspire me so much, and I know that one day I'll be there.
You must go on that show now.
I'll be there. Yes.
How did you?
You see, when Chef T was talking, I was just thinking that a lot of people think I just woke up and the Morayo show happened. It didn't. I didn't have anything. When I left, when I resigned, I didn't have jack. The only thing I did was I had money to go to Dubai for Mrs. Adeoye's conference. It was while I was there, because before then, my company had promised me that they'll give me our former building. You know, we moved to Eco Atlantic.
Yes.
So I had confidence that I have a studio for my new show. But then they came back to me after 5 months. Sorry, we want to use our space. You can't have it. So I was ground zero. I was down and out. In my business plan, I didn't put space because I already felt I had. So when I was in Dubai, Mr. Woshika said, we are women here. If there's anybody that needs anything, come forward. Yeah, I came forward. I said, I'm looking for investors. 7 people came to me. In those 7 people, 1 person linked me with somebody in Nigerian, in a different country. They warned me never to mention their country, because if I mention their country, there are not plenty Nigerians there. They will know it is him. But this 1 person linked me up with a Nigerian that lives in a different country. That person pledged a certain amount of money. Now got me 5 other people to come. That's where they gave me the seed money. So my sister, I didn't build that place. So it was somebody else's property. It was an event center. The man said he has built it in 2020. He hasn't been able to rent it out for event planning since he bought it. He said, government, the whole road on my street was muddy. Nobody could have events because government had not fixed the road. It was all bad. So he just got tired. He's been going to Asapsha to allow us, please come and fix the road. They're not answering him. He just got tired. So he put it on the market. The day my PA went there to go and collect contract, government came and started doing interlocking. As I'm talking to you, the main road to me, as I'm talking to you today, Onibongo is fixing the main road now. Yeah, God just orchestrated this thing by himself. When I said 100 million earlier, it wasn't for me. God used that opportunity to tell me, Morayo, you can do yours. If you can think of an idea for your company and you can be able to get funding, your own idea too deserves funding. I will find you the money. Guys, you think I have politician friends? None of them came through. I did. I called. I begged. I pleaded. I sent messages. I did. Because I have them. But they didn't come through because God didn't want my blessings to come through them. He raised people outside. I have never met these people before. Only one of them came for December for his family. I met him for the first time. There are 5. I've not met the remaining 4. They sent me their money. It's their money I used to pay. I paid for 5 years rent. I started buying. The person that gave me camera, I only had 5 million naira. The camera was about almost 60 million. He said, Morayo, take it. He ordered on my behalf. I trust your brand. The person that gave me screens, Morayo, whatever you have, just give me. I'll order. I trust you. As I'm talking to you right now, the person who did all my wiring, I have not paid him complaint. He said, Morayo, just keep doing it. I will trust you. So, Chef T is seeing my show, thinking that complete. God is just gradually putting layer by layer by himself.
Yes.
My first sponsor came. I thank God. I'm hoping for more to pay back because the show is God sent. God birthed that show himself.
That's it.
So it wasn't as if I had no serious money somewhere. Trust me, I did not. I was looking for a loan. Sis, I'm still looking for a loan. The loan has not come through. I've been applying since last year. It's like God was telling me, Morayo, for a loan, learn. I'm the one doing this project. What are you stressing yourself with loan? I've been begging for loan. The banking, going back and forth. The loan hasn't come through as I'm talking to you right now. Maybe tomorrow, Sha. But God has taken this show this far himself. So when God is there with you, he will make a way. He will find people to bring to you. And people are thinking, oh, Morayo has done that. Trust me. God is the one that is producing this show. Anytime somebody cancels, a guest cancel, maybe you're supposed to come tomorrow, you cancel. Somehow, God will just bring a replacement by himself. Meaning, Holy Spirit, I just give you thanks. You now think, Morayo has quality guests. It is God that just shows this. These people just come. So I thank God for his grace. And the truth is that when you have something, be true and continue to trust God. When you trust God, as Chef T has also said, you see, when you have a supportive husband, my husband is my number one. He says, Morayo, when God finishes you, Oprah go to learn work. That's the kind of husband I have. He's coaching me every day. He's a coach. Today now, I had 2 functions. One of my friends is 40 today. I had to be here. He said, Morayo, go to Pastor Sunmbo's event. Because
shout out to Pastor Afolabi,
celebrated. Go where you are honored. That's
Yes,
when you know. Because me, I was like, I'm going to go and say, go there. So he's my number one coach. So supportive husbands, you don't take them for granted.
That's it.
Don't take them for granted. They're always there. Thank you very much.
Please, I'm sorry, I just want to add something.
Add
to
it, add it.
So in the process
This is
of us
girl
speaking
talk.
and,
Let's be free.
From
Add
from my own experience and what she said, my dear ladies and the few gentlemen that are here, please meet God halfway. Let God see that you are trying. Opportunity will not come if you are not prepared. Opportunity will not come that if she did not take the trip to Dubai for the conference, and if she did not come out to talk that she needed investors, I'm sorry, nothing will come out. When I needed sponsors for Delicious or Disaster, I have brands that I'm working with now. What's going on? I started to call all of them one by one that you don't want to associate with my show. The show will blow. You understand? And then I stood in front of one of my clients and I was presenting one day and I almost teared up because I was like, Shefty, see how far you have come. See how far you've been coming. You know, when I was doing digital marketing back then, when I was doing branding, I would stand in front of clients and I'll be presenting. This is how we want it for our clients and everything. I'm like, all these skills that I have now is what I'm doing, using for my job. So you need to be prepared. You need to meet God halfway. If you meet God halfway, it's like icing on the cake. When God tops it up for you, you will just calm down and enjoy the work of your hand by the grace of God. Amen.
Can you see how God is just featuring in our stories like this? You don't know the disservice you are doing to your vision and dreams if you have cut God out of the mix. There's no place you want to get to that God can't get you there. I usually tell the people that I mentor that God can fund all of your dreams. How big is your vision? God can fund it. If you don't take a step, how are you sure you'll be able to walk on water? Take that step and see God carry you through. And pray for the gift of men. Oh. Pray fervently for the gift of men.
I was going to say that already.
Pray for the gift of men. And my sisters, marry right. Don't go marry anyhow. Don't marry a man that will be intimidated by the empire you are building. Marry the one like the one I married. Marry the one like the one Elimo married. Elimo self marry correct husband. Dr. Morayo marry correct husband. Chef T marry correct husband. Sis, I marry right so. What's money in my Let's go. In fact, Elimo, no question. Just talk. Let me not ask question again. Just talk as the Holy Spirit leads you.
Okay, so it's safe to say that when you see a successful lady, a successful woman, trust me, they have this support. This husband thing is something that you cannot take for granted. And if you're single here, please marry right. You get why? Because there's something that is not clear to everybody. You see, Bags Warehouse, people just see me out there, talk, dance, do a lot of. But trust me, 85% of Bags Warehouse is being run by my husband. We work together. It's not me. We work together. So, in fact, if you see the description, I am MD. I still have a chairman. So, it's my husband. So, I just come out to do the marketing today. He's there. So, please, marry right. And also, when there are some times that, perhaps you are the one that God had just put out there. He could just be there for the support. But by the time, with his own little effort, little support, because trust me, a lot of your staff, you bring in somebody from the outside and stuff, they would not manage your thing the way you, because we are talking about the joint ownership here. You are seeing the business as your business, as the family business, really. So it's going to put as much effort as you. So, in fact,
please help me celebrate.
I'm sorry, Morayo, you can speak here.
I wanted to just say that.
Please, before you speak, I just totally forgot to ask you to ask your questions because we have just about 10 minutes. Thank you. We have just about 10 minutes to wrap up. If you have any questions, please write it on our slip and pass it on to any of our officials. You will see our officials are the ones sharing refreshment. Please write your questions down so we can ask quickly. Go ahead,
I was
Dr.
just going to
Morayo.
add a little bit. I know you're hearing marry right, but some of us have not married right. And that's the reality. Some of us marry people that, okay, maybe they're not totally supportive of what we are doing, and we're still asking God for grace to give them. That would happen. But I think we should take from what Chef T said. God will meet you halfway. No matter what. So even though you might not have the most supportive spouse, because having a supportive spouse is an extra. It is still about you. What are you willing to do, to put into it? The extra one is, okay, you have a spouse who's not pushing you. Yes, that is great. But if you don't have that extra, it's also fine. Meet God halfway, and definitely He'll pull you through regardless of where you are.
And in the spirit of International Women's Day, I wanted to mention a few things that we might forget here today. I said something on my Insta story yesterday that, this phrase, women supporting women, I've not experienced, the realness of it in the past few years, because women have been the one trying to tear me down. You understand? And then, as much as I try to build a positive community, I try to remind my community members that, it's okay. There's sometimes, it might be from a place of jealousy. You see a woman that you're probably older than, that is doing well. Maybe you went to school together and she's all there. They say that it's okay to have that jealousy in you, but it's now witchcraft if you now decide to do it or act however you feel.
Or pull her down.
Yeah, to pull her down. I think whenever we wake up every morning as a woman or even as a human, let us say within ourselves today that I would see another woman, I will be happy for her success, I will encourage her, I will practice women supporting women. Because we tend to forget that phrase and we use it loosely these days, but most of us don't act it. We look at our neighbor and like, what's she even wearing herself? How much can it be? That's where it starts. Let us encourage each other, knowing that, your own encouragement will come from someone else or will come from even God Himself. Please let us practice women supporting women in all honesty. And one more thing before I wrap up.
Yes, please.
It is okay to fail. It is okay to fail. What is not okay is dwelling in that failure. And what is not okay is identifying something that is failing and deciding to stick to it. You might currently be doing a business and you feel like this business is not doing well. My sister, it's okay to move. I have been a makeup artist. I have been a hair vendor. I have been a fashion designer. I move everywhere. Until food found me. I did not find food. And then the moment food found me, I redefined the food blogging industry. I changed what it is. I started to identify problems. Who sells sponge for 6,500 naira? You understand? But I brought value with it. So if you feel like where you are now, you are stuck and it is failing, my sister, move. Move on to the next one you are passionate about. And it will work well by the grace of God. So please don't dwell in your failure. The other side of failure or the other side of success is fear.
Yeah.
You would rather be in the other side, which is success,
Yes.
right? So please don't be scared. Do it afraid by the grace of God.
Please help me celebrate Chef T. Before Elimo adds to this, I just want to say I have experienced the gift of women supporting women. Chef T being here, I'm seeing her for the very first time in my life. Please help me celebrate Chef T. Help me celebrate Chef T. I'm sure you all are used to this type of miracle at Inspiring Change Conference. God brought her. I sent her a DM that we want her at the Inspiring Change Conference, and she obliged to come. And I knew that was just God. Please help me celebrate her. Dr. Morayo being here is also women supporting women. Dr. Morayo DM'd me and said she wants me on our show. She gave me quality hair time. I know the value of 10 minutes. She gave me more than 15 minutes, free of charge.
Let's appreciate her, please.
Every time I've seen her twice after then. One at NHN's tea party, and then at Wema Bank where I went to speak. And I kept telling her, you are my destiny helper. Thank you so much. We put the Morayo show on our partners' media wall this year because she didn't know the value of what she gave me. That visibility alone, having me on your show and the flyer of this life-transforming conference on your screen in the background meant the world to me. Thank Thank you so, so much. And you may not know why you have the Morayo show. You have the Morayo show to give voices to people like me. Thank you so much. Please help me celebrate her. This is Ellen Mo. I've experienced women supporting women. Before I met Ellen Mo, someone just sent me several bags, several shoes, and they dropped it in my house. And I asked my husband, I'm used to giving people, but I'm not used to people dropping money, dropping clothes, So when I married my husband, I said, hey, what does this person want? Like, why are they giving me? Pastor said, you are my wife now. They will give. I said, it's a ram. So he gave me a number. I called her. I said, thank you so much. She said she's helping our pastor shop for his wife. Hey! And I started, she has blessed me in tremendous ways, supported the Inspiring Change meetings financially and in kind. This is the first time that she's on this platform, but I just want to say thank you so much. You see, when you start a dream and people commit their finances to it, you don't know what God has done for you. I value you. That's why Bags Warehouse cannot go down.
No,
it cannot go down. And you see the heights where you are now is still the least you would ever be.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus. So please know that God can send you destiny helpers. He is doing that for you because you are walking in alignment with His will and purpose for your life. It is only when you walk in alignment with His will and purpose for your life that you cash in on the draft He has already withdrawn for you. So, but if you sit down and do nothing about your future, the draft will just be lying there, waiting for when you will take a step to come and cash it. Please, Elimo.
In addition,
bring your questions, please. Yes, go ahead, ma.
I want to point out that life would never get easier. See, as you grow in life, whether you get wiser, you get wealthier, you get more skills, you do all of that. See, challenges will always rise to meet you at every level. So, and the purpose of this challenge really is for you to learn from the experience, because you will need that experience in the next level. She mentioned something earlier that my page was taken down at some point. Bags Warehouse, I started Bags Warehouse at a time when social media was really not a thing, But then, like she said, I started Bags Warehouse in the boot of my car. So when social media now began to, be the thing, I launched in quickly, okay? And I gained a lot of visibility, trust me. So, we were going on, Bags, we were doing well until like 7 years into the business, and I woke up one afternoon, and trust me, my page was gone. In fact, my pages, I reached out for my other phone, let me try and see if the other page is still alive. That one gone. My third page gone. Like in one day. My main page was taking down at 343K followers. So it was like, I fell into depression, really, practically. So to cut the long story short, there's a lesson I want to bring out from this. So when these pages were taken down, like a week later, I began to realize that it was as if the way my pages disappeared, my customers also disappeared. My sales went from, say, 100 to 5. Really, it was terrible. I almost went into depression. And trust me, I have a big shop, I have staff, the page, you pay salary. Rent is reading. You run diesel, So at that time, I now began to read. I began to study. I listened to podcasts. Is this the end of the business, really? So I now realized that I had visibility. I had the platform, but I didn't have there was no stability, So and at that point, the time I was going to start again, and I want to point out to you that starting afresh is different from starting with experience, So by the time I was going to start all over again, I was not like, okay, what is the strategy? Before that time, I'd always like, this is my shoe, come and buy my bag, send us a DM, we can deliver, we are online, send WhatsApp message. So by the time I was going to start all over again, no, I changed strategy. It is now come to my store. I have a physical presence, come to my store, the shoe, the bag, and two things happen. First, the page that was taken down at 243K followers, I spent 7 years building that page. In fact, now it will be. This is the 5th year the page was taken down. In fact, in November will be, will be 5 years in November. And as at today, the 5th year now, we have 668K follower. Wow. So look at the speed. Wow. So that is one. Then 2, I now found out that bringing people to my store, made me sell more. Because by virtue of what I sell, when people order online, they try to minimize risk. The shoe may not fit me. I might not be comfortable. It might be too high, But when they come to the store, except you don't have money in your account. In fact, you will buy more than you have budgeted, really. So my sales, in fact, 2 years after I started all over again, I began to make more than what I was making in the 7th year of running, even when I had the other page. So please, my dear, challenges would always, it's like you are walking in a particular direction and all of a sudden you see a closed door. Life is practically telling you that is not the end of the road. Re-strategize. There are other ways you could do this. There are other routes that you could take. That is what life is practically telling you. And when you don't do it, life will teach you to do it. And life will bring experiences, challenges that will force you to sit back and, rethink and refire. Really.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please celebrate Ellen Mo. I want to remind you that still to come is the empowerment session. We have the award session. And then we have Fortune and Kayode Ogedengbe in the building. Celebrate them. There's still going to be loads and loads of giveaways. You're going to be winning so many things. So please stick with us. We have some questions here. And we're going to be taking them quickly. Yes.
Okay, my question says, for a lady who has various passion and businesses, but none of them are moving as I hoped they will, what advice can you give to help direct my passion and business to make profit as they grow? So I want to assume that you are running your businesses online, right? So if you're running it online, I want to assume, who asked me the question? Okay, she will not talk, it's fine. But I'm going to, right? Okay, so if you're running a business online, I believe, because with my digital background, I study social media very well. Social media is changing. It's changing drastically. And if you're not able to move with the change, you'll be stuck in your old ways. So for example, now you joined social media when it was just pictures. Instagram was just pictures and, carousels. And, we have moved on to reels, we have moved on to different kinds of content on social media, and you're still stuck with your old ways. Nobody will come and buy your market because you are just there. The power of storytelling is very, very important with business, any form of business. If I go to your page and everything I see is come and buy, come and buy, come and buy, I'm sorry. I might buy once, but nothing is going to keep me on your page. So if you start storytelling in different ways. I've seen a lot of vendors. In fact, I even advise vendors that if you have something to sell, please don't make it a sell every day. What value are you offering your client? Yes. How do they use the products that you are selling? For example, you are selling hair now. You've never posted how to maintain hair, how to wash hair, how to do everything. Everything you are doing is sell. They will only buy and go. If they want to now learn how to maintain hair, they will go to somewhere else. But if you are mixing different things with your business, storytelling, comedy. I'm not saying you should come out and start dancing online and all that, but there are still some creative ways. In fact, now we use AI. This morning, I didn't have time to edit videos. I posted my AI video that I created like two, and it's getting engagement. So you need to go with the trend. You need to move with ways that, the social media trend is moving, if you're running your business online. And if you are not, or you're just, a regular business person, please go back to your drawing board and see what is going on, what is wrong, what is the recurring pattern. Is it that people complain a lot, or is it because you have no physical store, or is it because you don't know how to market it well? You might have a product that you don't market well. You don't show the offerings of what your product is actually giving people. What is the value and all that? So you need to revisit it. And like I said earlier, if it is not working, find something else to do. There are so many ways you can make money now. Even as a content creator, you can make money too.
Please help me celebrate Chef T. Celebrate Chef T.
And this is my first time attending Inspiring Change. And I must tell you, this is so beautiful. The words are so powerful. From the guest talks, guys, it's so powerful. Like, I learned a lot, that I should always show up no matter what. I should not give up. And I pray to God, I'm not going to give up. I will keep showing up. I will meet new people, important people. I will attend a lot of something like this, conference like this, and I pray God help me. Amen.
So my question is, how were you able to navigate leading a team of women, co-hosts at your view, without allowing jealousy or rivalry take over? That's a fantastic question, because when the show started, I had one thing in mind. I wanted to prove that women can work together and will not fall apart. Now, because I created the show, there was an objective. And the objective is to bring different kinds of women from different parts of the country with different experiences to share their views. So everybody there is there for a purpose. Every character, I tell them, guys, this is a reality show. Our talk show is like a reality show. Everybody has a character. Nima, you are there because you are speaking for the Muslims. And I want you to speak for a Muslim and as a lawyer. Tokpo, you are there because you like politics and you are a Christian. I want you to project that. Then Jumoke was a single. I wanted her to project that also. At the time back then, we had Sandra, and then we had so many people. Everybody was recruited for a reason. Today, Mariam was there because she's from the north. It was specific. Even Amaka is there because she's from the southeast. It was specific. So everybody is there for a reason. And because you are there for a reason, you are valued. I respect your work. I don't compare you to, you said this one, you don't say, no. You are there because you are supposed to speak for the southeast. You are there because you're supposed to speak for Islam. You are there because you're supposed to speak for the southwest. That is your job. So there was no rivalry. Now, of course, we had fights in the early days. I mean, because in the early days, there was issues. And what helped me, because I realized that some of the ladies were having issues with me where they felt that I was being partial, you like this person. So what I did as a leader, I was very neutral. I don't go to anybody's houses. I don't go and do felicitate. You can go, I know there are cliques because they all form cliques. Oh, this one and this one are best friends. No problem, keep doing it. But for me, I was very neutral. I wasn't besties with anybody. I was just clear, same relationship with everybody. And what he did was that there was a rallying point. If things go sour, they know that Morayo is the rallying point. If things happen here, Morayo is the rallying point. So it helped me to sustain that balance with the ladies. And eventually, we now build that sisterhood. Because when you know that we are all equal here, everybody is here for a reason. So that equality gave everybody that confidence to say, okay, I am here, I'm valued. So because working with women, sometimes it's about how do you value me? Who do you value more than me? And once they see that equality, rivalry was very, very minimal. All the ladies individually have their own purposes. Somebody is doing real estate. Somebody is doing domestic women supporting. Nima is always fighting for women. If you have one of the ladies of your view had problems with courts, I said, go and call Nima. I don't know who to call. I don't know any judge. Call Nima. Nima got there immediately, sorted that out. That is the kind of, so everybody has the value they bring. So YK is there because she's the man or woman of the grassroots, the Fela Kuti, the Bobo Titi. That's what. So my job is to spice her, to push her, to bring out the YK that you love. My job is to bring out everybody's character and make you have a good show.
That's it. Please help me celebrate Dr. Morayo. Your question.
So the question is, what can you do when you don't have money to start what you desire to do? What you desire to do when all things are down with you. I have called people, but no one wants to help. It's a money issue. Okay, that reminds me of one of my friend's story. Let me share this quickly. You see, at the point she was going to get married, she's actually a makeup artist. So by the time she wanted to get married, she was going to, being a makeup artist, your customers are people around you, you go to weddings, you go make people up for weddings, like that. So by the time she was going to get married, she was going to relocate to another state, meaning that she's going to go start afresh. So eventually, it was really a tug of war between them. So eventually when she, moved, so one afternoon she reached out to me and she said she has been married for about 2 years. And she said she wants to start to do drop shipping. And drop shipping, a makeup artist is a very good one at that. What do you want? Why haven't you started your business and stuff? She's like, I just moved. I don't know anybody. Nobody is calling me. I'm not getting jobs, which is understandable because it's a new environment. So, and something just dropped in my mind. And I told her, but you have experience. You know what? Why not buy a pack of blade and eye pencil? A pack of blade is less than 500 naira or so. 2 years, I don't know how much it is now. Now put in your bag. You are a makeup artist. When you go to church, go to gatherings and offer to carve out. You as a lady, the work gives you a lot of wisdom. In fact, that's why we do microblading. Carving this thing out. If you don't know it, you don't know it. So, and I told her, why not offer people, walk up to people warmly and offer to carve this thing and draw their eyebrows. Even make their gele free, Trust me, because when you do this, you already, you exchange contacts. The day these people are going to need that service, you will be top up, So they will call you. And that was how she started. There was no money, there was nothing. And she started. In fact, as at the last time we spoke, she already has 2 shops. 2 shops. One, in fact, at some point, she now told me that people were now beginning to, call her for jobs. And not only that, call her for gele, call her for different, and they were even like her. So many times when she's doing the thing, carving it, and so, do you even know the foundation that will fit my face? They started paying into her account.
Wow.
That was where she got the funds to open her first shop, where she started to sell cosmetics.
Wow.
Not like she wanted to start because there was no money. Now she has she has a studio, yes, wow. And she has another shop where from nothing, just because she was able to sell her experience. So please, money is not, just let the desire be there. See what you can do free of charge.
And that's it.
It will attract people to you. And once you are attracted, once people are attracted to you, you would attract money.
Mm-hmm. Money moves in the direction of problem solvers. Look for a problem to solve and money will rush you. As we wrap up, this person says, I don't have any question because everything I have heard today has answered all my question as a woman who is inspiring to make a change. And that will be all for us on the Girl Talk session. Have you been blessed today? Scream refire to advance. And what do we say to Dr. Morayo Brown? What do we say to Ellen Moore? And what do we say to Chef T? Thank you all so much. God bless you. Please celebrate them.
The Girl Talk was amazing. I learned a lot, and it's amazing because it's a real life experience. These people have gone through it and they are sharing it with everybody. I learned real life experience. I learned to turn adversity to my advantage. I learned to, move with speed. When I receive ideas, I should move with speed. Yes, I'm single. I learned that I should ensure that I marry the right person that would support what I'm doing. I learned a lot. Like I would lose count on things I learned, and I would actually encourage everyone. Inspiring Change Conference is a place to be, and don't miss it next year. Bye.
So what stood out for me is the guest talk show, where the guests told us about their how they started, the history of how they started, how their husbands and spouses, they have supportive partners, and they were there to share in their own brain development and all that. And that stood out for me. And I'm grateful to be part of this conference because I've really learned a lot, inspiring, and I can't wait to go back to my drawing board and draw out everything that I've learned and make it a manifest. Thank you.
Before I allow Dr. Morayo to take a seat, I was on a show, and one of the aspects of the show is for declaration. So 3 people were nominated as women who single mothers and widows who are in business. And one of the things we do at ESOP Heroes, as well as the Inspiring Change Initiative, is to support women-led businesses. So I made a pledge that I was going to through the Inspiring Change Initiative, sponsor 3 of them, and we have the 3 of them here. And one of the things I said on the show is that it would be so nice to have Dr. Morayo present these grants to them, and I'm so glad that the Holy Spirit took it from my mouth and made sure it is happening in reality. Please, if I call your name, I want you to please run up to the stage. Oluwaseifumi Ogunshola, Oluwafumike Dada, Abimbola Oluwaseu. Oluwaseifumi is into fashion, Oluwafumike is into catering, and Abimbola is an hairstylist. Celebrate them as the 3 of them come on the stage. For Oluwaseifumi, she's going home with 100,000 naira grant, courtesy of the Sunmbo Adeoye Inspiring Change Initiative for the sustainable development of women and girls. Where is Oluwaseifumi Ogunshola? Celebrate her. She's on her way. Celebrate. Oluwase, please run up real quick. Oluwaseifumi Ogunshola, you can come through this place too. Fashion, you can come through here. Can we please get an usher to be here so they can help them? Please come. Congratulations. Come and stay in the middle. Congratulations. Don't go anywhere. Right there. Let us have Oluwafumike Dada. She goes with 100,000 for our catering business. Oluwafumike Dada, congratulations, ma. Please stay right there. And the last but not the least, Abimbola Oluwaseu, an hairstylist. Abimbola even came with her mom. Where's your mom? Mommy, come too. Yeah. Congratulations, mommy. I'm so glad you're here. And she won 100,000 grant for our business. So, on behalf of the Sunmbo Adeoye Inspiring Change Initiative for Women and Girl Child, you're all going home with 100,000 naira for your business. And I want to have access to mentorship so that we can be sure that you're using this exact money for your business and you are doing it the right way. I'd like you to line straight so that Morayo can stay on that end and I stay on this end. So there's space. I won't forget. Celebrate God. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Please celebrate them as they take their seats.
Thank you so much. I must really thank Pastor Sunmbo. I mean, the reason that part of the show really is to give back. And what we do is, when our guests come, just try to see what you can do to declare. And declaration can be cash, it can be mentorship, it can be anything. And you declared and you fulfill your declaration. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us.
I know that you're not expecting this, but because the weight of the work that you do, we appreciate it a lot. So this afternoon, we're giving you an ESOP Hero Award. It is presented to Dr. Morayo Afolabi Brown for your consistent support and belief in inspiring women. Congratulations, Doctor.